Following up our favorite OEM cars for enthusiasts, we wanted to switch things up and look at our favorite EVs for enthusiasts. The Canadian International Auto Show 2024 is full of exciting EVs, whether you like it or not, and some of these things are just straight up impressive. We've got modified ones, and most importantly, we've got OEM ones that are starting to cater to the enthusiast. And I'd like to start with the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. So this is the N-line version of Hyundai's recently existing Ioniq 5. Now, when we looked at Hyundai's eGMP, that's the electric global modular platform, a few years ago with the debut of its really cool concepts, we knew they were going to cook up something special when it came to the N-line, and they certainly haven't disappointed. This essentially hot hatch, 5-door vehicle produces a ton of power. It looks pretty damn cool doing so. So this thing is making an astonishing 600 horsepower at any given time, with up to 641 with what they call the N-Grin boost. I assume that is some sort of push-to-pass technology. It's going to be at your disposal through an all-wheel drive dual motor setup, and it's coupled with an electronic limited slip differential. Now, being an N model, it has some exclusive trim stuff. Inside, you're greeted by the N exclusive sport bucket seats, which hold you pretty damn well in place. We got a chance to sit inside this thing on media day and VIP night. Unfortunately, it's closed while we're filming this. You also get the N exclusive steering wheel, N exclusive pedals, and an insane, meticulous, detailed interior. Once again, it's worth reiterating the amount of horsepower. That is 600 horsepower, or in this case, 448 kilowatts of power at any given time. And with the N-Grin boost, you're up to 641 horsepower, or 478 kilowatts of power. I think Hyundai is here to stay in the EV game. I think they're putting some of these manufacturers to shame when it comes to catering to the enthusiast, and they're not the only one. Stay tuned for another one in just a moment. Shout out to Hyundai for this one. Now, when we talk about electric vehicles that excite the enthusiasts, I don't think there are two better examples than what we've got here. Now, these are not OEM vehicles. These are part of Electric City, which we helped the auto show establish this year. And to do that, we contacted some of our friends. On one side, we have Scalar Performance with the SCR1. This is a turnkey electric club racer car. They are going to be producing more of these. Currently, there are two, one here in Canada and one down in the States. You can expect to see lots more of these in the future. These guys have been doing amazing things. There's also some changes to this vehicle coming up in the near future. You might notice it is based on a Toyota 86. That will continue. There's some technical changes coming. And more importantly, there are some awesome partnerships that they're working on with some cool electric and hybrid powertrain technology that we can't really talk about just yet, but you definitely want to keep an eye on Scalar Performance. These guys are bringing electric vehicles to the forefront of the enthusiast. On the other side of me, our friends at Mountainpass Performance. You guys may know him from On Point Dyno. This is Sasha's car. This is what they call their Blue Lightning. It's based on a Lotus Evora, and its all-electric powertrain is making 550 plus wheel horsepower. The brains behind the whole operation here is a Motec M1 control unit. And we've done a shop tour with Sasha before at Mountainpass Performance. You may remember he makes all sorts of cool suspension components and aftermarket parts for Teslas. He also has some race Teslas in his program. He is in the business of making electric cars fast. When we're talking about electric vehicles that excite the enthusiasts, I don't think it gets more exciting than these two here. These are built to go fast around a track, and they look pretty damn good doing it. It obviously deserves a mention when we're talking about EVs for enthusiasts. Probably the most hyped up EV in recent years. It is Tesla's Cybertruck. Whether or not we're going to see super modified versions of this, yet to be determined, but I'm willing to bet there's going to be a ton of aftermarket options. The platform looks pretty modular, so I think you can get some cool stuff out of it, but it will be exciting to see what the aftermarket does. I'm just begging you, Tesla owners, please do something other than wrapping it a weird color. This might be the most polarizing EV for enthusiasts of the auto show, but that also makes it the most exciting. This is Dodge's Daytona Charger SRT concept. It bears a striking resemblance to the 1968 Charger, with the main difference, of course, being that it is fully electric, as if the light in the front didn't give it away, or some of the neat styling. Style-wise, I think it looks killer. You've got this insane front bonnet scoop that goes right into the front end of the car, which is definitely coming up from the front grille. You have these crazy center lock wheels with a really wild design. You have an emblem almost reminiscent of the Hellcats before it on the side. And of course, you have the sleekness of an EV. Like I said, it is very polarizing. They call it the first electric muscle car. Whether or not that even exists or is an oxymoron, yet to be determined, maybe by you guys. We don't know tons about it. We know it's powered by an 800-volt propulsion system, and they want to be a true muscle car EV in every sense of the word. So that means they're going to make jam, it's going to make it to the rear wheels, it's going to make some sort of simulated noise, and more importantly, I'm hoping it's going to be really fun to drive. We can't wait to get our hands on a real one when they make it to production. I'm hoping they don't differ too much from what we're seeing here, because I will go on record and say it looks pretty cool. So in the intro, we mentioned that Hyundai isn't the only one that's really stepped it up in terms of bringing EVs to car enthusiasts. And behind me is one example, and this isn't even the best example. So what you're looking at is Kia's EV6. Now this is cool in its own right, pretty sporty, pretty capable vehicle, available in all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, but it gets so much better, so come check this out. So the EV6 as an OEM model is available in rear wheel and all wheel, but the EV6 GT, this extremely sporty version, is all wheel drive only. So it's gonna be really fast off the line, coupled with that electric instant torque. And like we mentioned, 576 horsepower. That is absolutely insane in a car this size from the factory. This rivals some of the supercars of today. So it's really exciting to see something in a cool looking sedan. Like I mentioned, love the style choices. You get the 21-inch wheels with this model. The price tag does reflect the power, however, so the EV6 starts at around 59,000 Canadian, down to the GT all-wheel drive version. This is going to be an $80,000 car as it sits, and that's 80,000 Canadian. So it's going to cost you a pretty penny, but I'd wager it's worth it. I mean, just look at the thing. It's hard not to like it. If you're going into this looking to modify, I don't know where you're going to start. There's not going to be a lot of aftermarket support, but I think right out of the box, this EV is going to appeal to a lot of enthusiasts. And it might even create some new ones. Now the range on the EV6 is up to 499, but on this specific one, because of the power, your estimated range is going to be about 332 kilometers. So like a lot of the EVs before it, especially a lot of the EVs coming out now from the OEMs, they've taken aerodynamics into consideration big time. That helps with range, that helps with performance, that's the whole package. So you'll see more of the similar styling with the awesome airflow functional roof wings on the backs of the trunks. And you've also got this wide rear end, very carefully sculpted. Love the taillights, love the almost diamond looking, I don't know what to call it, but it mirrors the taillights. It's just below it, coming around the back of the trunk. All in all, I think it looks really good. And I can't wait to see some of these on the road. I'd like to see them in lots of different colors. And I really want to see the first modifications people start doing to these. This brightly colored Mach E behind me is probably the most anticipated EVs for enthusiasts that we've seen in a long time. The Mach E Rally is a factory-tuned version of the Mach E designed to live and play on the dirt. It is 20 millimeters lifted from your standard Mach E GT. It's also bumped in power. It's heavily tuned. The twin engine is outputting, or aiming to output, over 600 horsepower and over 400 foot-pounds of torque. It's also got these really sweet turbofan styled wheels that are hiding the giant brakes and Brembo calipers beneath it, and obviously the most eye-catching paint that we've seen at the auto show. In addition to being raised the 20 millimeters compared to the Mach E GT, it's also equipped with specialty tuned springs and MagneRide shocks, so you can rest assured that this is going to do great off-roads. This isn't just some fun project from Ford for the auto show. Later this year, you can actually order your own Mach E Rally. This is a production model. This one's a bit of a side note. We know it's not a very enthusiast-minded vehicle, but the brand new Prius Prime unironically looks amazing, if you ask me. I can't wait to see one of you show weirdos do some crazy things like slam this on air with big wheels and camber or something like that. A really cool paint job. The body styling is just very futuristic, and unlike Priuses of the past, I do really enjoy looking at.